Alright, what up guys, Andy in here. Now, it's going to be my 5.4 Enhancement Shaman guide. I won't be doing this like my other guides. I'm going to be doing this a little bit differently. Now what I mean by this is I'm not going to put every single aspect of what I wanted to be in this guide all in one single video, because I think last time I had a really long video and I don't know, most people didn't mind it, some people did, and so basically what this time I'm going to change it up a little bit and make it into 2 or 3 separate videos, which this way I can bring you more footage faster too. So this is going to be basically my glyphs, talents, glyphs, add-ons, and macros, and you can skip to whatever you want below in the descriptions. Also, I want to answer one question that a lot of people ask me, is that I guess it's mainly on my stream. Like when I make these guides, I'm always streaming, and that's how I record. So what I do is I just open up Twitch and I use Twitch to record my videos, and so then I upload them to YouTube and do the whole thing. So that's why if I'm ever making a video, I'm gonna be on Twitch streaming it. So that's basically why I'm doing it. So I just wanted to answer that question out. And then before I get started, the one thing that I wanted to put out before I start the other sections is that now everyone should be using Wind Fury and Flame Tongue weapon on their main hand and offhand. The reason being is that the 4-set bonus has changed. So now Flame Tongue slows your target. So that's pretty much, that was the main thing I want to get out, and I will be doing a rotations guide and all the other stuff later on. And also, current stat priority, the main thing I'm focusing on is agility, and after that mastery, and then PvP power, and then haste. Like for me personally, haste isn't a big of an issue now. I think mastery is going to be amazing, and I've been testing mastery out on PTR with full gear and stuff, and mastery is just awesome with the new changes to LE Blast and Lava Lash and stuff, so on. Alright, see you guys later, or enjoy. Alright, the talents for Enhance for 5.4. Now, Nature's Guardian is still going to be the best right here, which basically every time you drop under 30% health, you get a maximum of your 24% back, which actually stays forward. Stone Bulwark Totem, it's going to be, it's actually kind of nice. Like I tested it out. If it doesn't get purged, it's actually really nice, especially if you're doing 1v1s. This is a really good talent, even if someone's purging it. And then Astral Shift, I'm still not a fan of. It can be really nice to save yourself, but I mean for low 15 talents, I still would go with Nature's Guardian. And then now level 30. The thing about this is now that we actually have, we're going to be using Flame Tongue and Wind Fury and Flame Tongue on main hand now, or main hand and offhand, and that's because you're not going to be using Frostbrand ever anymore. And the main reason for that is going to be the new 4-set bonus, which while your weapon is imbued with Flame Tongue weapon, your attacks also slow the target's movement speed by 50% for 3 seconds. So that basically means that as long as you have Flame Tongue on, you're still going to be slowing people down. So with this, thing is Windwalk Totem is going to be baseline every time you play like a Hunter or something, or Mage, or wherever you want to put this. But I do like to use Frozen Power every now and then to root someone for 5 seconds. So it's just situational. Like in some classes where I need to catch up a lot, I use Frozen Power. Classes where I need to actually like kite someone, I'll use Earth Grab. And almost like always, I'm always using Earth Grab for the most part, which because I'm really used to it and I love using it in situations. And then Windwalk Totem is pretty self-explanatory when you need to get you need freedoms for your partners or yourself at any point. And then for level 45 talents, Totemic Projection is still my favorite way to go, which relocates your active totems to the specified target. So let's say you put down a Tremor Totem, and you can transfer the Tremor Totem to wherever you want. Same thing with Cap Totem, Earth Grab, Healing Tides, I mean whatever. Let's say you have primarily Totem out and someone's trying to kill it, you can replace it to wherever you want to. Now the new talent that did come in for 5.4 is Totemic Persistence, which basically summoning a second totem with the same element no longer causes the first one to be destroyed. So basically what this will do is that if I summon a capacitor totem, and then I summon a grounding totem, my cap totem won't be replaced even though it's in the air totem boost. But that only works with Like it says, it only works with one totem may benefit from this effect at a time and does not affect fire totems. So I still don't like this. Maybe it's nice. It'll be nice in some situations, but for me, totemic projections is definitely the way to go. Call of Elements is still actually a pretty cool thing if you're having trouble with like just instant tremoring, like two spheres back to back or grounding or something. Call of Elements could be used, but my choice is to go with totemic projections. And level 60 talents. Definitely Ancestral Swiftness is still the best talent out there, which gives you 5%, or I'm sorry, 10% melee haste all the time and an instant cast spell. Now, because of the new buff to Ele Blast, where when you Storm Strike now, your Ele Blast gets a 25% extra chance on crit. Now, because this is hitting so hard, once we actually get fully geared and have like mastery and everything going up high, Echo the Elements is actually going to be kind of cool if you want that Gip kill. Because if Echo the Elements double procs Ele Blast crits, I mean, you're almost going to global someone. Like, you're almost guaranteed going to global someone with that if you're popping Ascendance right afterwards. So it can be a really cool way to Gip someone. But for now, I'm still sticking with Ancestral Swiftness. Every now and then for fun, I do go to Echo the Elements. So you can pick between either of the two. And I mean, if you just want that extreme burst in the beginning, like when you pop Ascendance or something, Elemental Mastery is still amazing burst. So, but I mean, for overall, I do like Ancestral Swiftness the most. And level 75 talents. Here we have two choices that are really viable now. First is Rushing Streams. Your Healing Stream totem now heals 2 targets at once for 15% additional healing. This is like, I love Rushing Streams. Like throughout the whole match, this is gonna heal for so much. And like, yeah, it's like, oh, okay, it's not that much. Considering like as an enhanced shaman healing stream totem, that's pretty nice. And also it's going to be on 2 people at once. So it's really good for dot pressure teams and stuff like that. And for cleaves, you still have Ancestral Guidance. Now what changed from before here, where instead of Healing Tide, now Healing Tide is baseline and 50% stronger. So this way you can have Healing Tide and Ancestral Guidance. So if you have those burst teams where you know you're having a hard time living, which this patch actually, like right now with the current gear situation, it's not that bad. Or right now Resilience is buffed and everything. So, but still, if you do like, if you do want to survive that insane opener, or if you're looking for duels, then Ancestral Guidance is really awesome because you can combine that with Healing Tide and Ancestral Guidance plus Ascendance, and you're gonna get topped off instantly, no matter what. So both these talents are extremely good. Connectivity, I personally haven't tested it much, and I mean I've tested it a little bit, and I'm not a big fan of it still. Like, I mean, for BGs it might be nice, and for PvE it's still gonna be nice. And then for level 90 talents, now here there's 2 choices now. I do not use Unleashed Fury ever anymore. I don't think it's worth it at all. But what the new thing is now, Ele Blast is just amazing. I recommend everyone to try this. Basically what this is, every time you Storm Strike, your Ele Blast is going to get a 25% extra crit chance for 15 seconds, while as long as the debuff for Storm Strike is up. Basically what it used to be for Earth Shock and Lightning Shield, Lightning Bolt, and Chain Lightning, now it affects Ele Blast too. So this is just going to be amazing. So you Storm Strike, then Unleash Elements, and then Ele Blast, it's going to hit like a truck. So Ele Blast is definitely the way to go. And you can also use Ancestral Swiftness if you want to use it like for Ele Blast too, if you don't have 5 stacks, if you just want to get the instant burst out. I know some comps like to Mongo and stuff. And then the other talent is Primal Elementalist. Now, this you have to be really picky with how you use it. Against all hunter teams or teams where like you know the fight, like when you like soon as you pop your stuff, like the match isn't gonna last more than a minute. So once you actually go for your burst and stuff, like if the match is less than 2 minutes long, or from the moment where you have things start going that's 2 minutes or less, Primal Elementalist is hands down the most damage you're ever gonna do. But there's drawbacks to this. If the match prolongs, Primal Elementalist kind of sucks over the course of damage, because after that you don't have any other way of putting out extreme damage. But during its duration, it's amazing. And the other part that sucks with it is that it's really easy to kill if people know what they're doing. Like, you just have to target the totem and just blow it off. So some teams, like especially like let's say a PHP or something, like which team where Primal Elementalist was actually really good, a Ret and a Hunter can blow up a Firely totem so fast. So You kind of have to be careful with that, but and also it provides the earth elemental buff also with the stun and the reinforce to give you take less damage and more healing and stuff. Primal Ultimus is definitely worth it. So against most hunter teams and stuff like that, I do go Primal Ellie. And then again, if there's ever a caster on any team at any point, no matter what comp it is, I always go Ellie Blast, no matter what. Because against casters, your match is gonna definitely long past a certain amount, unless I mean it's a mage or something. Then you know you're enhanced shaman, you're playing with a disc or a priest or something, just MD and GG. But so those are the talents for enhancement. Now to go to the glyphs. Now the glyph of lightning shield, it's still, in my opinion, it's a mandatory glyph. You take 10% less damage for 6 seconds, which is basically up all the time if you're being hit. And then glyph of healing storm, I also think this is like kind of mandatory. It can be replaced if you know your healer's really good and your comps like where you don't have to be defensive at all at most of the times. So healing storm, but otherwise healing storm is amazing. Basically what it does is that when you have 5 stacks of maelstrom procs, your healing surge is buffed by double. It's by 100%. So it does double the healing, which is huge, especially when it crits. And then now we have this is a glyph that can change all the time. You're always going to be changing that third glyph. Now, glyph of shamanistic rage. We all know what this does. Basically removes all harmful magical effects from you. This is going to be amazing against mages, but sadly I feel like that's the only thing that's going to be useful against, because now the unstable affliction, or I'm sorry, UA or affliction warlocks, the buff from unstable affliction, or the debuff that comes from it, the 4-second silence plus like the 90 to 100k crit, it actually activates when you use Shaman Rage now. I don't know if like it was a glitch before or Blizz intended that way, or if it's a glitch now, but as of right now, Shamanistic Rage does proc the debuff on Unstable Affliction, so this is not a good glyph to use against Shadow Priests and Warlocks again, or Affliction Warlocks. I mean, against Demon Warlocks and Destro Warlocks, you don't need to use it anyways. There's nothing you want to take away except for like Shadow Fear or something if you want. But in that, so Shamanistic Rage basically for duels and for mages. That's pretty much all I can do for that. But what can be replaced with it is stuff that I like. Is personally, Cap Totem is really nice, where it takes away 2 seconds of your your Cap Totem becomes a 3-second cast now, or a charge time. And another glyph I really like is Glyph of Hex. Reduces the cooldown of your Hex spell by 10 seconds. This is huge. I love this glyph so much. Most of the times I am using this glyph unless I'm playing with a certain class that doesn't require it. If I'm playing with the Hunter, I almost always have to use it just to match up my cooldowns with theirs. But other than that, I mean, so Glyph of Hex, Glyph of Cap Totem, and then going along, this is my, this is a pretty new shaman, so, or, it's not a new shaman now, but I don't have a Glyph of Purging yet, which was actually a really good glyph. So, successfully purging target now grants you a stack of Maelstrom Weapon. So where you know, like, comps where you're going to be constantly spamming Purge a lot, this can be a really good usage of a glyph slot. So I mean, especially like let's say you're facing a fire mage or something, that's actually a really good glyph slot. If you're going to be replacing like Healing Storm or something, you need Shamanistic Rage against fire mages. But Glyph of Purging is a really good glyph right there. And for enhancement major glyphs, that's about it. And then for minor glyphs, I have Totemic Encirclement, which basically what this does is that when I put down any kind of totem, it puts down 4 extra just random totems that have 5 health out of nowhere. So and I have 1 real totem. So this is a really nice way for people to have a hard time actually killing your totems. And then Glyph of Lake Strider, which automatically you gain water walking while in Ghost form. I just like this glyph because you know it's nice. And then you have Glyph of Lava Lash, which your ability no longer spreads flame shock to nearby targets. So if you're playing with classes like hunters or mages that don't like, or I mean, just any situations where your dot's gonna be a problem, where you spread flame shock, then you want to use that. Now, there's a lot of new glyphs that are minor glyphs for cosmetics that came out, which I love. I just can't afford them right now because everything's so expensive. But Glyph of Compy is basically this instead of like Hex turning into a frog, now it turns into a little dinosaur, which is awesome. I would definitely use that. Now something else, elemental familiars. This basically summons like a mini elemental, and if there's a couple around, they'll start fighting each other. It's kind of cool, you know. I think all you have to do is buy it once, and then you don't even need to actually like keep it in your glyph slot, and it just stays. Or it was like that on the PTR. Maybe it was bugged. Flaming serpents. It's pretty cool. It makes your searing totem into like a little serpent that shoots out fire, which is pretty neat. I like it. And then let's see what rain of frogs. You summon a rainstorm of frogs at your target location. This is a fun glyph. It's like rain of fire or like blizzard or anything, but except you just rain down frogs. It does no damage. It's just for fun. Also another cool glyph. I think if you equip it once and then take it off, I think you get to learn the skill forever. I'm not sure. Like that's what it was doing on the PTR. Now, this is one of my favorite glyphs, or the cosmetic glyphs that came out. Your spirit wolves turn into spirit raptors. So you have two dinosaurs attacking people now, annoying people. So that's pretty cool. I think spirit wolf. This is pretty self-explanatory. You can your ghost wolf can be used while you're in a ghost form. So that's pretty much it for talents and glyphs for enhancement shamans for 5.4. Okay, so now for macros for 5.4, basically I'm using the exact same macros. Nothing has changed, but I'm going to go over them anyways, so you don't have to go back to my old videos to refer to them. My one-shot macro is still the same, which is going to be slash ascendance plus your unused trinket if you have one, and then cast Stormlash Totem, which can be replaced for Fire Elite Totem 2, however you like it, and put Elemental Mastery in there, Blood Fury in there. And if you like, you can put Ancestral Guidance in there. This was I did this before 5.4, so you can take away Ancestral Guidance now. I don't recommend it in there, but if you like it in there, you can keep it in there. And keeping Elemental Mastery in there doesn't hurt. Like if you don't have the talent, it won't activate it, but if you do, it will. So just keeping it in there is nice, so you don't have to constantly change stuff. So that's my one-shot macro right there. And then I have my cleanse macros for my healer and my partner, which is basically slash cast brackets at whatever the partner's name is, and then cleanse spirit. And same thing goes for both partners, just different keybinds. And then my focus purge macro, slash cast, and then brackets add focus purge. Same thing. And then for my focus symbiosis, I use slash cast add focus solar beam, which is going to be important because if you do every now and then you are going to be playing with a druid, and you're going to need regular symbiosis and a focus symbiosis macro. So you can also put symbiosis in here instead of solar beam, but it doesn't matter because either way you're going to be getting solar beam. And then I have my grounding macro, which is well, you can put add show tooltip in front of any macro you want. Basically what it does is that if you go over it, it'll actually show you the whatever the tooltip for it, instead of like some other macros where, let's see, probably I'm pretty sure, yeah, like my ascendance macro, it doesn't show ascendance on it. So because I don't have show tooltip on it, but you can put this on above any whatever. Sorry, macro. I can't talk. It's like super late right now. To show the tooltip, and if you, let's say you don't want it to show grounding totem. Let's say I want to show tremor totem. And if I save that, now it's gonna use grounding, but it says tremor totem. So you can play around with that however you like it. And if you don't put anything, it will basically the first spell that you put on it, it will just change to that. So you don't have to mess around with it too much. And now for same thing that I did with my cleanse, I have the same thing for my heals, for my healing partner arena 1 and arena 2, or my partner and my healer, or however you like to play. Same thing, slash cast at whatever the partner's name is, and then healing surge. And then I have my focus hex macro, which is slash cast at focus hex. Okay, now I realize, I think on my grounding, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but you want to add the stop casting in there. The reason you want to add that is every now and then you're going to be casting like a healing surge, and so you want, like, you don't have to press stop casting and then the macro or move around or something. Especially like, let's say if you're casting ability while on the run, and so that it's just nice to have that in there, just macroed into it, so you can just spam it. And then let's see. Okay, and this is my mini burst right here. What this basically does is activates my on-use trinket if I have one with Stormblast Totem, Elemental Mastery, and Blood Fury, which is my racial. So this is when I don't want to use Ascendance, but I know that without like a little bit of like strong burst of my help, I'm not gonna force enemy cooldowns with just my partner's cooldowns. Because what I usually like to do in arena matches is that I like for my partner to pop his cooldowns, and I pop like some of mine, or just like my Fire Alley and my Ghost Whip, and like just do my regular rotation and see if we can force cooldowns that way. So that next set of cooldowns I can pop Ascendance when I have the perfect opportunity. And I don't like to play the Mongol where I just run in, pop every cooldown, and try to go for that one-shot Gip kill. Like, it works a lot, but I just don't prefer it that way. So every now and then I'll do it if I know I'm not gonna force cooldowns like otherwise, but it's MOP, so sometimes you have to Mongol. But otherwise, there's my mini burst. You don't have to use that, but you can. Now this is my Shaman Rage. It's basically slash cast Shamanistic Rage, but what I add to this is my Reinforce slash cast Reinforce. Now what this is the fire element. The Earth Elemental. If you have the Primal Elemental as talent, it has a ability called Reinforce, which increases while it's channeled, increases the healing done to you by 10% and decreases the damage taken by 20%. So I just macroed that on my Shaman Rage. So if I have that up, I'll just use both of them at the same time. Because chances are, if you're using Shaman Rage, you're going to be needing to use the other one too. So I just have that macroed into it. And then now, you don't need this Tremor Totem Glyph. I don't need it either. So I'm just going to remove it right now. What it was, basically, was that before, instead of Totemic Persistence, we had Restoration. So you could use your Tremor Totem and cancel it to make it a 35-second cooldown. But now you don't have that talent, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. So might as well not even risk like accidentally canceling out your Tremor Totem. There's no point. So this is basically stop casting and then slash cast Tremor Totem. Same thing for Grounding Totem. And then I have my focus or my Wind Shear macro, which is stop cast slash stop casting and then slash cast Wind Shear. Same thing for my focus Wind Shear, except instead of I just add the add focus in brackets in between. So that's pretty much it for my. Actually, it's not pretty much it for my macros. These are macros that I recommend everyone to use. Like, I think it's in season 11 I actually didn't use these, but like once MOP started, I started using this, and trust me, it changed my game completely. The reaction time and just like everything in general. Like clicking or clicking your frames or tap targeting makes it so much slower. So I've been using this for a long time now. Like I probably wouldn't be even able to play without these now. Like tap targeting would annoy the crap out of me. So I recommend these to everyone, which is slash target arena 1, slash target arena 2, slash target arena 3. Now you can make arena 4 and 5 if you're gonna if you're a big fan of 5s, but I mean I honestly never do 5s, and if I do, I just click my frames because I'm not going to be making macros for all 5 of them. I don't feel the need to do that because I'm not a competitive 5s player ever. Because I think it's boring. Or it's fun every now and then. And then, so this is my arena 1, 2, 3, and then I have my slash focus arena 1, 2, and 3. So it's basically going to set my arena frames to whatever my focus. Now you can make just a regular focus macro and have it like just have slash focus and then just use that for just to use like target arena 1, 2, or 3 and then slash focus them and then continue on with it. But I just prefer this is faster because I like to change my focus constantly. So this is just really nice for me to have all 3 of them, and I have good binds for it now, so it works for me. And then I just have my I have my Hearthstone macro somewhere, or Healthstone macro, I'm sorry. There we go. Okay, slash use Healthstone. It's like I just have this macro because every now and then I play with the Warlock and I just don't have like the Healthstone art like ever equipped to it. So I just made a macro for all my characters so I can just put this on there. So if I have a Healthstone, it'll just turn into Healthstone. So that's pretty much it for my macros. Nothing much has changed. I mean, and another macro you guys might want to add is slash pet follow, pet attack for any other tunes. But aside from that, those are pretty much it for my macros there for Shaman specifically. Or Enhanced Shaman at least. Alright, so for my add-ons. The add-ons that I basically use, this is for most of my tunes, and then I use this. I mean, these are probably this add-ons I use specifically for shamans. Is that the number one add-on I use here is Bartender, which I guess Bartender 4, which I love this add-on. It basically adds like all these bars. I mean, these are not. This is Blizzard art, but this is like the actual bars that from Bartender that I use, and that's why sometimes like a lot of people for some reason like they'll come to my videos and something and they'll be like, "You're a clicker." It's like just because I don't have keybinds on my healing tat or something. It's not because I'm a clicker. It's because you just can't see my keybinds. It's like, I mean, they're all just blanked out and stuff. I don't need to watch my keybinds to know where everything is. But everything, like literally every single ability is keybinded, and it's with Bartender. So, and I also can add special bars where we on. You can make Bartender look completely different. I just like to keep it like default UI kind of thing. And then another add-on I use is Battleground Targets. This is a really good add-on for BGs, like really, really good. So I definitely recommend it. Basically allows you to target focus battleground targets. So if you're gonna be doing RBGs, I'd highly recommend this add-on. Coolline. This is an add-on I got a long time ago. I do not use this anymore. I tried it out once because a friend told me to. But basically what this does is that it brings out a big bar in front of your screen. So every single cooldown you use shows up on it, and then it will just like keep going. It'll like tick down to the point that once it's back up, it'll flash. So if you like that, you can use it. It's called Coolline. And I have Deadly Boss Mod, which is not activated right now because I don't need it. But I mean, I'm pretty sure like everyone knows what Deadly Boss Mods is. It just helps you with like some key things going on in PvE and stuff. And it's also it works for BGs and stuff too. So that's mainly what I use it for. But right now I don't have that for some reason. Probably because of the new 5.4 updates and stuff. So, but Deadly Boss Mods is nice for like RBGs and stuff like that too. And then Gladiator Losa. This is I don't know if you watch like anyone's stream or like videos or something, you're gonna be randomly you hear this chick like it's like big heal, cyclone, like just random things being called out, and just letting you basically makes you a little bit more aware than what you normally would be. Which is that's Gladiator Losa. So if you have a hard time like kind of being like your field of vision isn't that good, or just you're improving on it and you're just like getting through it, if you want to be a little bit more aware and just kind of like react faster to things, Gladiator Losa is a really nice add-on. Like it's not just for beginners. I've seen like rank 1 glads use it constantly. I've used it, and I mean I don't mind it. Most of the time like I don't use it lately, but it's just like, but it's a really nice add-on like for anyone. And then after that I use Gladius 5, which Gladius is just the arena frames that come up. Sorry. Okay, Gladius is basically the arena frames that just come up like that replace the regular arena frames. And basically it's just like a bigger arena frame for me, and it just shows you like the trinkets and DRs and stuff like that for your CCs. So I really like Gladius. I highly recommend it. And then Grid is a really cool add-on. Basically what it does is gives you rate frames. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm getting Skype messages now. Alright, now Grid, but yeah, basically what it does is gives you rate frames on wherever you want on your screen. So it just look prettier than the normal rate frames that Blizzard uses, because I don't like them. And then this is a new add-on that one of my friends just showed me lately. I haven't got a chance to use it yet, but it's called Hadouken, or how you pronounce that. Some people might want to pronounce it differently. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard of it. Like basically it's a Street Fighter sound effects add-on for spells. So you can add Street Fighter sound effects to random spells that you want. And then here's the most controversial add-on ever for high-level PvPers, Healbot, which you can see on my screen right here, which actually is set up for healing surge and decursing. Now, do I use this to heal and decurse? No. What do I use this for? Simply one thing, is to dispel hexes a lot faster. Now, when I say this, it doesn't mean that I'm using this to dispel hex. I'm simply noticing hex faster by looking over here instead of my rate frames. see who got hexed, so that way I can dispel that person faster. The reason, like for me personally, this is faster. Like it's not gonna be faster for everyone else. Is because back when I first started playing WoW, I was a PvEer and I did use HealBot when I used to heal, because that's just really easy. I mean, I would still do it if I ever PvE'd again. So that's just, I'm used to watching on HealBot for like decursing anything, because I can dispel it instantly with HealBot. So that's just something that's what I use it for. So I mean, if anyone wants to try it out, go for it. And others might think it's a really newbie thing, which I mean technically it could be, but I mean it works for me, so I don't care. And then we have Interrupt Bar and Juked. These are basically the same kind of add-ons, just different versions of it. What this does is that whenever someone uses Silencing Shot or just any kind of interrupts, it'll just bring it up to your screen. So what you have here is, let's see, let's make it not smart so everyone can see it. So this is basically what you have now, right here. So you can see their pummels, silencing shots, solar beams, monk kicks, like all this stuff. And you can add a lot more stuff to it, like scatter traps and stuff like that, which recently I've found which is a lot easier on Interrupt Bar. So I would probably recommend you to try to go for Interrupt Bar first and check how you like that. The next add-on that I really like is Lose Control. This is an awesome add-on. Basically, if you notice if you ever watch any of my videos or my stream or something, you'll notice that when someone goes into a hex or fear or any kind of CC, or like they have a grounding down or anything like that, it'll show up in like a big box around my screen. Or if I'm in any kind of CC, it'll like come up in a big box around here. That's Lose Control. So those big debuffs that come out of nowhere when someone's in CC or I'm in CC or my partners are in CC or whatever, it's just to make me more aware, faster. So basically everything I do is just to increase my field of vision. So Lose Control, really good add-on. I would highly recommend everyone to try it. Move Anything just lets you move anything on your screen for your UI, but it won't let me. Okay, I guess it is letting me move this right now. I thought it wasn't. Alright, so basically you can just move anything you want on your screen. And I guess that add-on I forgot to talk about earlier is this add-on control panel. It's a really cool add-on. You can basically change your glyphs, or I mean, sorry, not your glyphs, your add-ons while in mid-game. You can turn them off, turn them on, and reload your UI and stuff, so you don't have to log out and log back in. Just a faster way of doing things. And then I have Omni CC, which every time I use any kind of ability, let's say I use Searing Totem doesn't have a cooldown. Okay, I use Healing Stream, and now you see how it has a number on there? The number is basically what this add-on does. So it'll just add a time frame to it. So if I use Healing Tide, it has 3 minutes. If I use Spiral, it has 5 minutes. If I use Earth Grab, 30 seconds. Cap Totem, 45 seconds. So basically, so on and forth. Spirit, Walker's Grace, and all that stuff. So Omni CC, I really like this. Just it's a lot more, instead of like having to guess like where the black little circle is going to be up. It's just a really easy way for me to tell exactly when it's going to be up. So I can tell my partners exactly, like I can just count down for them and let them know like when we're gonna do something. And then there's Plate Buffs, which I think Plate Buffs is a really cool add-on where it basically on top of your current target frames or like health frames on people that like on health. I can't talk. When you have health frame, oh my god, when you have health frames. You'll see buffs on top of their health frames, like fear or like buffs, or like when they pop their cooldowns, like Avenging Wrath or something like that, it will show up. For me, this doesn't work, and it's mainly because I don't use tidy plates, which I'll get to later. But it's a pretty cool add-on if you want to try it out. I don't use it. I use Postal, which is just for mailing. It just makes everything faster and stuff. And I use Pratt, which you can see over here. Like this is how my chat UI, whatever, and it tells you the exact time of when something's coming. You can highlight stuff and copy and paste and like go back to their history and stuff. You can scroll up to the history and stuff like that. And I mean, you can go all the way up and then you have new history and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. And then I have Recount, which I mean, everyone knows what Recount is. It just shows you all kinds of details of any kind of like match or PvE or damage, DPS, deaths, whatever happened. Like it shows you everything. And I use Save Queue, which I guess is pretty self-explanatory. When you queue for arenas, it makes it a little bit safer. Literally, that's all it does. It takes away the leave queue button from arenas. That's what it does. And then Shaman Friend. This is an awesome add-on. I know a lot of people always ask me, it's like, how do you always see how much your Wind Fury hit, or how much your Lava Burst or Ele Blast, like Echo the Elements, are hitting for, or what you purge, like, or what you ground, like how do you always show it up on your screen? Because that's really nice. Like when you ground a deep freeze, or let's say you ground like some really clutch thing, a lot of times you might not even realize that if you don't have your sound on or something, that you actually grounded that. So it's really nice to actually see when you actually ground really cool stuff, or just or you're purging and stuff like that. Just makes things a lot easier, and also it's fun to see how much damage you're doing. And spell alerter, it's supposed to track spells. I can't recommend this to you. I still don't know what it does. I have it activated, but I mean I've been using it ever since, and I just haven't messed with it because honestly I don't even know. I don't think there's a difference what it does, so can't really recommend that to you. It's just there, but you can try it out for yourself and find out. It's probably a cool add-on because I have it. And then there's Tell Me When. This is a really cool add-on. Basically what it does is puts up 4 bars on wherever your screen is. Like if you've ever watched my warrior vids, you're gonna see I have big cooldowns on my warriors, just for like really key stuff. So you can just basically have big procs or big cooldowns, whatever you want, just to make it more visible, like those big bars. That's basically what Tell Me When is. It's a pretty cool thing. And then Tidy Plates is basically replacing your default UI's like your target frames over like your characters and enemy characters. It's a pretty cool add-on. Like a lot of people like it. I personally I'm not a big fan of it. Like probably because I'm too lazy to set it up, but it is a really cool add-on. Most people love this add-on and can't play without it. So I would recommend it to you for trying it out. Let's see the add-ons that I use. Instant Messenger, which basically you saw someone message me and like this window came up. So that's basically what Instant Messenger is. And then I have X-Pearl. Now I get this question all the time. It's like, what are your target frames where you're like your little UI dudes in 3D and you have like all this cool stuff and those big buffs and debuffs showing everywhere? It's like, what add-on is that? That's X-Pearl. It basically changes my whole UI. And the reason I do this is because I have a really big screen, and I like to watch everything. So it just makes everything bigger. So that's basically what X-Pearl is for. And that's pretty much it for my add-ons.